Hello and welcome to the Yarnings Podcast. I'm Christine and I'll be your host. This is episode 62. I was going to call it I Shall Wear Yellow, but I'm not actually wearing yellow like I was going to. So I think it's going to be Spinning Pride. Today is July 29th, 2015. It is a Wednesday. It is super hot here in Vancouver, Washington. It's going to be at least. It's 1:47 right now, and the temperature is supposed to get 97, and I get to go out in it. So we're going to have a really big heat wave, so I'm trying to keep the house cool and try to keep my head happy. Heat does tend to give me headaches, so we're going to hope for the best this week, that all that will be well, and see how I can manage that while I'm out and about walking. So I'm going to start recording this and see how far I get. I've got a bus that I'm getting on to go to Portland in just a little bit here, but I was all dressed up, and so I thought I will just go ahead and get started to record this episode, even if I don't make it all the way through. Okay, so I'm going to talk about contests in knitting community. That will probably be the spot where I break the recording for today. So we'll get back to that. Life stories. I didn't write anything down. What's been going on? This last week was just kind of busy. There wasn't any really big significant thing that went on last week. So just continuing on in all the fun things. So let's move into yarnings and some knitting adventures. Okay. So I'll show you what I'm working on right now. This is my Vigeance. I am not actually at the stitch marker. We'll hold it up like this. This is how far I am now. This is the long point where the increases are and the short point where the decreases are. And I've gotten to the spot now where I am decreasing less often. I think I was already decreasing a little less often so that it would get a little bigger. I was following someone's pattern notes to get to something that was a little wider, something that wouldn't be quite so tight around my neck because it is alpaca. This is Peruvian alpaca that my friend Angel brought back for me. And I worked on this a little bit yesterday. This was what I carried along with me when I went to the library and during a couple chats with friends. So I am making a little progress. I haven't worked on it a lot, and it's not going to go with me today because I think the alpaca will stick too much to my hands with the heat. So I think it's staying here in the air conditioning. So that is coming along. I need to start thinking about beads. I mean, I've got a while, but I'm excited to start thinking about what kind of beads I'm going to put in the edging. That will be lots of fun. I'm hoping for something really cool and dramatic because it's going to be a really cool and dramatic knit, no matter what way you look at it. So that's the Vigeance in Peruvian alpaca, patterned by Martina Ben. Okay, the next thing, I don't even have my project bags open and stuff. I just brought them all in here and hit record. So hopefully I have all of the project bags. This one's in my Girl Cave bag. This is my literally over the top. I'm calling it my over the top top. And you can see that I still have a little ways to go. Here it is folded in half. This is, the back is on top. So I've got a little less than halfway, and then I can join them together and do the bottom. I've worked on this a lot while listening to audiobooks when I haven't been spinning. We'll get to the spinning and you'll see why my knitting hasn't had a lot of progress this week. But I am just loving this. This is patterned by Megan Williams in Bumble Birch, Wellspring in the cranberry colorway, and I'm alternating skeins to kind of mitigate the hand-dyed color changes, and I think that's coming out very nice. Color's a little more accurate back here. It's a nice purpley burgundy. When it blocks out, the lace will be all nice, and I'm really loving the lace stitch. I am zooming along when I work on it now, so that is really fun. So that is the second work in progress. The third work in progress is my Very Colorful Yarnings pink striped sock. That's the yarn that looks like this. And I started them as socks, and I started knitting with them, and I just decided this was too fabulous of yarn to have on my feet. I need to turn this into something around my neck. And so I started designing something. First swatch didn't quite work. I'm playing with some other yarn to see what I want to do, but I have a really good idea and I'm really excited about it. So you'll be seeing that once I get it actually started. I'll bring it in here. Right now it's in little swatches and pieces in the other room. And then the thing that probably got the most progress this week knitting-wise was my Sushi on the Go trillion. So you can see the nice little three line lace on the edge over there. And the yarn is knitting up so fabulous. So this is Fat Cat Knits, her basic sock base. I thought I had the tag still sitting here, but I don't see it right now. This is for Fiber and Dice's Sushi Quest Yarn Along. Fat Cat Knits dyed up some yarn and fiber based on board games. So this is based on the game Sushi Go. So it's my sushi on the go because I'm knitting on it while I'm out and about. And the colors are just lining up so fun. I'm just totally enjoying seeing where it goes. And this will be a nice big Martina Bam shawl because I have lots of yarn. This is in my Java Jenny Woodland Creatures bag. My little snap bracelet part has cracked, but it's still a wonderful bag, and I love being able to hold on to it while I'm standing at the bus stop and be able to knit. So that works really well. And since I'm showing bags, I don't know why I decided to do that today, but my Viajange is in another Java Jenny bag. This is one that goes that way, which again, I can hold on to it and knit, although the Viajange is getting a little big for that. Not that it has stopped me. So, 1, 2, 3, talked about the one that I ripped. The needle adjacent project that I have going on, I'm going to talk about in spinning. That is all related. It's all connected. Okay, I was just trying to scroll my show notes with my trackpad, but they're over here. That didn't help me. All right, let's move in to Yarning's Spinning a Tale. So Tour de Fleece ended on Saturday. I thought it was Sunday for some reason, but it didn't matter. I was already mostly done with the things I was working on. And I far exceeded my goals. Once I realized that I was going to be done with the braid of fiber that I was working on, I started to think, well, what else can I work on? And so I pulled out some old stuff, and I finished 2 things. And I finished 3 things. 2 of them I started and finished. 1 of them I finished from old stuff, and I worked a bit on 2 other things. That's 5 spinning projects. I have never, in my wildest dreams, imagined being able to do that much in the 22 22-day period. And I loved every minute of it. I had so much fun. So let me show you a few things. I already showed you, but I'll show you again. This is my Daisy Knits, and I'm calling it the Hawkeyes. I don't know that I had the tag before. This is Polworth Silk. It was a delight to spin. I don't remember what my yardage ended up being. I think I've already told you guys that. Let me go back to that screen. This is 86 yards of a sport weight. I went through and figured out not only the wraps per inch, I used my little Sun Valley Fibers wraps per inch tool, which I didn't bring in here with me, I should have. And then I figured out the grist, which has to do with yards per pound. And since I was already calculating grams and yards, I just had to translate grams into pounds, and then I could figure out the grist. And knowing the grist helps you determine what weight of yarn it is, I think. This is very new to me. I've never done this part of it, but it was something that it had a place for to fill in on Ravelry, and so I thought I'd figure it out. And then I realized, oh yeah, it was on my spinning app. It was one of the things in the chart. So that was the first thing I finished. Then, well, I spun a little bit on some wool gatherings. I have, it's a little messy because they've been sitting, one of them came apart a little bit, but it'll be okay. I have four cups, and 1.5 of them were new. These ones, and then this half is what I've done so far. This was my Tour de Fleece last year, and I had spun 40 grams of it last year, so out of 100. So, and I've spun more than that. This is what I have left. Won't take me too much longer to get through that, and then I will ply it. One of them is very, very, very fine, and I think I was trying at the time to see how fine I could spin. So I'm not sure what I will do when I'm plying this because it doesn't match any of the rest of it. I may take this ball out of the equation and just ply the ones that are more even, and then maybe chain ply this or do something different to this one because it's so different. So that is currently on my Turkish spindle. The other thing that I spent a little bit of time working on was I did another ply on the fly mixed BFL. This is from Gail's Art that I got at Rhinebeck with my trindle. I have since sent my trindle back to Trindleman to have it fixed. So that is in process, and then I can get back to doing a little bit of this. And then the finished ones. I'm going to show you the really, really awesome one last. This, which smells really sheepy, it smells like lanolin. And it's Tussa and Polworth. Mixed BFL and Tussa. Okay. So, I spun the singles for this the summer of 2012. That was when I bought it. And this is finished yarn. This isn't the singles. And then it just sat. There was a period of time that I wasn't able to hold a spindle up. It was too much weight on my arm because that was just that part of my fibro. There's a string on me. I don't know how long that's been there. And so I set it aside. And then especially the plying spindle was just too much weight. So all those singles, 8 ounces of fiber, they were all finished. I had started to ply, I think 1.5 cups worth And it was very nice and fine. I had spun it very, very nicely, and it was fairly even. So I decided I was going to pick it up and see if I still liked it. So I started to two-ply it, because that's what I had been doing when I started to try and ply it before. And that made a really fine, this is a little fuzzy because it's the end, but it made kind of a, some parts it wasn't even a lace weight, it was so fine. So I got all of that done, 1360 yards of a two-ply. And I thought, you know, Rebecca had just, on Fiber and Dice, had just talked about plying, cable plying. Thought, I wonder what would happen if I try. So this was my test one. I cable plied my two-ply. Yeah, it's just not going to be very clear. There's a picture on my project page. And then I washed it because I wanted to make sure that it was going to be something that I liked enough to not have the 1,300 yards of lace weight, which I could have done something with, but this was way more usable feeling. So I now have this and three more skeins of 664 yards. I have them all labeled, so I did this really cool thing for all of my spinning while I was doing it. I took my label maker. I don't know if I can pull it up here and show you. It's plugged in behind you guys. So this is my label maker. I just got it on Amazon before my trip so that I could label some things. My old one wouldn't work anymore. So I needed a new one. So I kind of upgraded just a little bit. It prints laminated label tape. So I typed in the yardage, the weight, punched a hole in it with just a little, it's hiding, it's not there, with just a little craft hole punch. It's one of those teeny tiny ones. And then tied it onto each skein as I was working on it. Because it's laminated, it went through the water. And I didn't have to worry about messing up which ones were which. Just because sometimes it helps to actually know when you're working with them, because they're all a little bit different. The weight on two of these are, I guess it's not quite, but one of them's a little bit heavier than the other two. So it helps to have that info as I'm knitting with it. So 664 yards of a sport weight. Sport weight, is that what I said? Yes. Is way more usable than 1360 of fine lace weight, to me. That's about how much I used for my Goodale. This might make a very nice Goodale. And also, the color is now much more evenly dispersed. So it's still barber pole-y, which is fine. I don't mind the barber pole-y, but now you see a little bit more of the colors together than just having like a big chunk of one color. So I'm really pleased that I finished this project. It really turned out better than I could have imagined. And it's something from 2012. To have it done, that's really exciting. So it really does smell nice. I just washed it in my regular wool wash. It did lose a little bit of color while it was drying. After I washed it, thwacked it, hanging up, I can see a little drip into the tub. So when I use it, I'll probably want to soak that project in vinegar. It's not enough that I'm worried about rewashing it, but just something that I can be aware of. Okay, so my piece de resistance. I couldn't wait, and I had to go ahead and wind it up in a ball. It actually looks cooler on that side. This is Sun Valley Fibers, her superwash BFL. Oh, where did it go? Superwash, BFL, there we go. This I bought at Zombie Apocalypse. The colors remind me of Captain America, kind of a vintagey version of Captain America. And since I started spinning it on 4th of July, and the colorway was listed as one of a kind, I named it One of a Kind American. He was the only one. I'm geeky, I know. So when I got done spinning the singles of this, I didn't want to be done. I loved this spin. I so need some more of Jeanette's fiber. It was just lovely. But I didn't want to break up the colors because, as you can see, it kind of goes gradually. I guess it's not so easy to see on here, but it kind of goes gradually from one to the other. I did it end to end. I didn't divide up the fiber at all before I started. I pulled it into 3 chunks because I thought it was going to be a 3-ply, but I didn't want to lose that yardage. I wanted as much yardage as I could. So what I did was I took a gray lace weight. Let's see. And I applied it with a gray lace weight. You kind of see the little stripes in there because there was a little gray throughout, and that kind of added to the vintage feel. This was just some lace weight that I bought from Three Fates a while back. It was in a clearance bin because it had a spot on it, and I hadn't decided what I was going to do with it. And so when I was looking for something that might ply with this, that seemed really good. And I'm really, really happy I did that because I have 678 yards of a fingering weight. That's pretty substantial. So what I'm thinking about doing is show you the pattern here. This is Karina Spencer's Poison Oak. Oh, good reader decided to jump back. This is the Poison Oak sweater. I'll do a short sleeve version. It's got an asymmetrical line out down it and a pointed hem just in the front. It's got some similarity to my laneway. But what I'm going to do is I don't have an even amount of this and another fingering. So I took the rest of the lace weight that I had been plying with and very lightly plied it into a chain ply so that it was a little closer to a fingering weight. I will use this for the cast on, for the edging on the top. There's a good portion of it. I will be fine with that. I wrote down how much, I don't remember, but it was 30 grams worth. So this will be the top edging and maybe the bottom edging. And then my new Knit Circus with the red is going to do the stripes. I will probably do, instead of 2 rows, 2 rows, I'll probably do 2 rows, 1 row. And that way I'll get a little more of this because there's 600 versus 400. But I'll get the really nice, ooh, it matches my lipstick kind of. I'll get the really nice grays, the grayed out version, but with the red stripes is going to be totally striking. So I need to wind this up. What I did with this was I had 3 skeins, and I had them all tagged until a little while ago. And I wound them end to end from how, so this is the final end of my spinning, and the inside is where I started. So I was a little exacting. I wanted to make sure that I knew that they were going to transition from skein to skein. So I did check on that. And my little alarm is telling me that it's about time to be finishing up, which is good. This will work out perfect. So this is my one-of-a-kind American, and it is going on my needles next. I may not even wait until my over-the-top top is done. I do need to swatch. I hate to lose any of this yardage to swatching, but I think I need to because it's not 100% consistent. It's hand spun. So yeah, I know I need to swatch, but I hate to use any of this yarn. I may swatch. Oh, I need to block it. I don't want to, but I need to. I need to at least get the gauge that the pattern gets. So I will use a little yarn. It's better to swatch and then know than have all the yardage. It'll be okay. So that's my plan. And that is all my spinning. And the one that I'm still working on is the cheesecake. That's that one. And I will be figuring out what my next spin is going to be. I have a couple braids that were already in my stash that will be candidates. I did put all of my new sock yarn up there, all my ZK sock yarn, and I need to get some more socks cast on. But right now, I need to go and finish getting ready so that I can head to Portland and leisurely go through Pioneer Square for a little bit. That's the mall downtown. And then we'll get on a bus and go to dinner and meet up with some family. So that will be fun. And I will be back probably in very different clothes to finish recording the podcast, the knitting community, and all of the non-knitting segments will be after this. So thanks, and I'll see you soon. Hi, I'm back. Look, very different clothes, like I said. So it's been about 24 hours since I filmed the first half of this episode, and I have been to Portland, had dinner with my brother-in-law and cousin and husband, and that was an adventure in the heat. And then this morning I went and braved the heat to go to my class at the gym. And then I took a nap. So there hasn't been much time of downtime in between when I recorded last. My sunscreen and allergies kind of got rid of most of the little bit of makeup I put on earlier. So you get the very basic. All right, so let's pick up where we left off. We were moving into yarnings and knitting community, and we have some winners. So we currently had a thread for the conversation knit along that was knitting anything that you could knit and pay attention to something else at the same time. For some people, that's talking and knitting. For some people, that's playing board games and knitting. For some people, that's watching a movie in the dark and knitting. We had a lot of really great entries this quarter. I used random.org, and we have 2 prizes. So I drew for both of those prizes. And our winners are Try Linda, who is Linda. She made a candlelit shawl, spelled that funny, candlelit shawl in a color block yarn, and it looks like she finished it, and it was very pretty. So she is winning a pattern that Annetta graciously said she would donate up to $7. So Linda, if you will message me on Ravelry and let me know what pattern you'd like, I will get that info to Annetta so that she can give you your prize. And then we have this beautiful, very colorful yarnings, self-striping. Isn't that gorgeous? That is going to one of you as a prize for the conversation knit along. And that prize is going to Christine with a CH, who is Karenina4777. And she knit on both a sweater during this quarter and a hitchhiker and posted them in the thread. So congratulations. If you will send me a message, Christine, to my Ravelry account, I will get that shipped out to you. So I need your mailing address, and I'll get that shipped to you. Thank you, everybody, for participating in the thread. I think we will have another conversation knit along because it's going to be August. We will make it through the next 2 months. So instead of quarter 3, it'll be kind of quarter 3, but I went ahead and counted everybody who had participated in all the way through now in the drawing. So we will go ahead and open a next thread, and I'd love to see what you are knitting on that is great for the conversation, Cal. So for both of our winners, for Linda and Christine, you need to contact me within 30 days so that the prizes go out in a timely manner. And there will be all the rules and stuff in the thread. You don't have to have finished a project. You just have to post what you are knitting on, and preferably a picture, and you must be a member of the group to win. All right. So the next contest we're going to have is, I have 2 more skeins of Very Colorful Yarnings. These 2 together are going to go to one of you. So I'm going to open a thread with a prompt, and to be eligible to win, you just have to answer the prompt and be a member of the group, and we will be drawing for this wonderfulness. It is a wonderful base. It is her super saturated sock self-striping. It's 25% nylon and 75% merino superwash. 463 yards. This is on the back of that card. I'll stick one of them in this one that's going out, and one will go with these, and then I'm knitting on another one. And I am looking forward to giving this away. Thank you so much to Michelle of Very Colorful Yarnings for dyeing a custom colorway for our podcast. That was so cool. And yarnings and Very Colorful Yarnings just go together so nicely. All right, so we will have 2 new threads going with contests, and I am glad you're part of the knitting community here for the podcast and can be eligible for all of these prizes. I have a couple other things back there that are also going to be prizes in upcoming stuff, so I'm excited about that. All right, so also in knitting community, Stashdash is still ongoing, and I went through and tallied where I was at right now, and if I count my over the top and my Sushi Go Trillion, which got a little longer yesterday with all my bust knitting, if I count both of those, which I'm very positive those 2 things will get done, even if I don't finish anything more, by the 14th of August, I believe is what I wrote down. Then I am already just over 5,000 meters. That counts my hand spun, the finished yarn count of the 4 things that I finished. That 4 includes that because I turned it into yarn. So that gets me just over 5,000 meters. So I will be able to enter the 5,000. I don't think that there's any way that I would get to 10,000. There's no big projects that are that close. I'm not going to have my Viagent finished in 16 days. I mean, I know that it's possible because Megan from Stockinette Zombies did it, but I don't think that for me that's going to happen. And even though I will start on my Poison Oak hand-spun sweater, I don't think that it's going to fly off the needles fast enough to be done in time. And even if I did, wouldn't be another 5,000 yards. So that's very cool. I'm still going to see how many I can get to. Maybe my own personal goal will be to get to 6,500 or 7,000, and then I'll still enter in the 5,000 boards, but just to challenge myself so that it doesn't feel like there's nothing more that can be done. Anyhow, I always enjoy getting to participate in these kind of things, even if I just am doing it very in the background, where sometimes the only thing that I have the time for is to tag it, like the Pal Cal. I haven't had a chance to go and participate in the forums at all for my Over the Top, but I think that it's awesome that Michelle from Actually Knitting is doing that. So, do what I can when I can, even with my knit-alongs. Okie dokie. Let's move into the non-knitting segments. I think we got everything for Sagas of Geekery. Now playing. Board Game Geek tells me, well, actually, I went and looked at Instagram and updated my Board Game Geek list of games I've played. Last week I played the Manhattan Project. That is a fun worker placement game, and it's very nice to knit during because you have to wait while the other person does all of their actions. We also played Legendary, which we haven't played that much, but I'm getting very excited about the new expansion, which they had available for sale today at Gen Con. So there's more word about that, but I don't think it's actually able to be sold until August 5th. So I don't know when my local game store will get it for me to buy. Maybe I'll try and go this weekend or something. I don't know. And then we also played Harbor, which is one of those cute little games. And I got to play a character, and I realized when I read the description, he was based on Dibbler from Discworld novels, the Terry Pratchett books that we've been listening to. He was a entrepreneur who was selling sausages in a bun. It was absolutely, there's no way that wasn't CMOT Dibbler. So that was really hilarious. There's different little cards that you can have different powers, and that's your start cards. So it's fun to see all the different things. We have certainly not played with all of them yet. For now watching, we are continuing to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2. We just passed the mid-season break, which was the first third of the show was before they aired Agent Carter. Agent Carter was the mid-season replacement, and I am really enjoying getting to watch it all in a little more condensed chunk than we did on TV. But I found out that Avengers, which happens at the very end of the season, there were 2 episodes or 2 hours worth of episodes, I think, after Avengers, and that's not coming out on DVD Blu-ray until October. So I will have to either probably go ahead and watch all of Agent S.H.I.E.L.D., even though I won't be able to watch it with Avengers in the middle of it, because I've been trying to do it all in order. Chronological order of when things came out as far as Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. go. So there's that. And then I am continuing to watch Stargate SG-1 and Atlantis. I'm on Atlantis Season 1, which is SG-1 Season 8. So I'm intermixing them, so watching episode 10 of one, then episode 10 of the other, and so on. So it's a fun one. They're definitely some of my favorite shows. Atlantis isn't as awesome to me as SG-1, but they're very good shows, and so I'm enjoying getting to watch them again. For now, reading. I am still reading comic books. So last week I talked about Ms. Marvel. This week I read Ms. Marvel the second. Oh, doesn't even say volume 2 on there. That's weird. This is the second volume, which collects issues 6 through 11, and I really enjoyed this. I mean, this was great, but the storyline got better in this one. And I understood a little bit more about what went on. So, highly recommend this series. I have the third one on hold, but there were several people in front of me. So, and I think the fourth might be coming. I don't know when. Probably a while before my library will get it to me. But yeah, good series. I also have been flipping through this one, which is a character guide. I have a gianter one that is all of Marvel. This is mainly focused on ones that impact the Avengers. So like they'll have a whole page on Captain America. Let's see. Got Iron Patriot. But then there's other ones that I don't know anything about. Jack of Hearts. I know nothing about him. I guess that's Ant-Man related. We got just one page on Hydra, which seems like it's a big giant thing. And so I'm just kind of acquainting myself with some of these characters because I'm still so new to comic books and comic book movies. It's really fun to get to see, okay, Sandman. I know that he was a character in Spider-Man, but I haven't gone back and watched. I think that was the end of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, and I haven't watched any of the newer Spider-Mans, the Amazing Spider-Mans. So, anyhow, I am enjoying getting to know some of these and flipping through this. And it also is coming in handy for my legendary knowledge. I am also reading I Shall Wear Midnight by Terry Pratchett. That is the one that we are on in our big Discworld re-listen. Well, for me, I'm listening to all of it for the first time except for the Tiffany Aching books, and this is one of the Tiffany Achings. And so when I started to title this episode, I Shall Wear Yellow, because I succeeded in my Tour de Fleece goals, and yellow is the official color of that. It was because of the book I'm listening to. She says I shall wear midnight when I am a real witch. So I am greatly enjoying listening to that again, and I'm listening to it now with the knowledge of the whole series behind me, and there are a handful of other characters that show up in this one that I didn't know who they were when I listened to just the Tiffany Aching books. So we get some of the Ankh-Morpork people in this one, and that's really fun. Okay, scroll on my little iPad here. I was standing before, and so that worked well that it was up there. Now that I'm sitting, it's a little harder. Oh man, I have such a big pile of stuff behind my shoulders, guys. I need to get on that. Some of that is left over from my trip that needs to be sorted. So, but I'm recording in the imperfection of my craft room. It all works. So now that we're out of Sagas of Geekery, let's go into Book of Cooking. I made a very wonderful salad, big beautiful salad I wrote with chicken strips, which actually says chicken stripes. I'm going to need to do some editing to my notes over here. I did some oatmeal this week. I had fun with my cold brew Stumptown coffee and chocolate chai concentrate again. I made Mexican nachos, and I remind myself periodically how much I enjoy having a garbage bowl, which I think is a Rachel Ray thing. When I'm cutting up a whole lot of veggies, it really helps to have something to put all of the extras in, the stems, the seeds, so that then they're not just cluttering up my cutting board and I don't have to go to the trash can with each thing that I cut. And so with my Mexican deconstructed nachos, I am chopping up peppers and green onions to put in with the turkey. I'm chopping up mangoes and peppers and jalapenos for the salsa, and then getting prepped stuff for Eric's version of his nachos. So it takes a little doing to get it all put together, and lots of produce to chop up. So I captured a picture of my garbage bowl. Okay, fanciful chatter. So yesterday I was wearing my LAR party, which I meant to show off a little more because I was wearing it, but it doesn't quite go on top of the tank top that I'm wearing now. So I don't remember what I showed you guys. So this is formerly the back, and this is what I did to the fronts. So I overlapped this spot right here. You can see the ribbon under the arms of each one. I tacked down the previous fronts. So this made it skinnier. It overlapped so that then there was a little less fabric to be different, my different size, and it gave it a little more of a razor back. There we go. Because the straps are closer together now. And that works really nice. It's open on the bottom, so there's the overlap there. And I really enjoyed wearing it yesterday. And also, for fanciful chatter, I must show you what is going on my wall of geekery over here. Right behind you, I have all of my geeky prints of things. I have a Rogue, I have some Kaylee, there's some things from my friend Amy, the cartoonist, including Cartoon Christine. So I now have framed my Karen Hallian. This is a quote from Agent Carter from the first season. I know my value, and anyone else's opinion doesn't really matter. Which is just awesome and very, very mindful and aware and positive, which is what I want to be. And when I heard that quote, it was like goosebumps. So my friend Rena, who I went and stayed with in Illinois, got me this card, and she had Haley Atwell sign it for me. I've broken it up into two pieces so that they can hang side by side. It was when she went to one of the cons. It was on my birthday, and she had Haley sign it for me, the actress who plays Agent Carter. So I'll link to Karen Hallian's card in case you need one of these. There's also a T-Fury shirt that has just the top words. It just says, I know my value. It doesn't have the little words on the bottom, but I love the little words on the bottom. So these are going as wonderful reminders to me on my wall behind me. That's awesome. So that's fanciful chatter for you. And the happiness continues. So I love sharing with you guys the great insights that my yoga teacher has. This week, she was talking about finding your target. And if you don't know your target, if you don't know what you're looking towards, you can't get that outcome the same way as you would if you had a target. So it has me asking, where am I aiming? What am I trying to do? She said, this doesn't have to be stressful. I don't need to have a grand plan, but if I know what I'm aiming for, on any given day, I might be able to hit that goal. So yeah, it really got me thinking. It's definitely on the same mindset that I've had lately about being mindful. And it's so basic and wonderful of a thought that you think that you should know it, but it really helps to actually think on it for me. So that's where my happiness level is this week, and I thought maybe you guys would enjoy having that knowledge as well. So I think that'll do us for this week. Thanks for putting up with the somewhat in a half episode, but you get it all at one time. But it's just, I know that my brain didn't have the space in it to be continuous between the two, so it might be a little more disjointed than normal. Hopefully it came out well. So let's see, you could follow me around on the internet. I am Christine with K on Ravelry. I am KDLB on Instagram, just the letters. You can see the group where we do all our contests and all of that. We are Yarnings Podcast on Ravelry for the groups section. And you can see the show notes with links to everything that I talk about at yarningspodcast.com, all squished together. All right, so thank you for joining me today, and I will see you again very soon. Until next time, that's the story. Bye.